We live.
All right, we are live. Pod Deep Podcast, the latest edition. Is music playing over me?
I think so.
All right, let's try this once again. Pod Deep Podcast is in effect with the latest episode. I know we've been gone for a while, but we're back because we got a bunch of topics that we need to get into. So we missing one of our members, Big Sid. So we won't have a deep thought question of the day. So we'll just jump right into the topics. So topic number one. All weekend, people have been talking about Shedeur Sanders and his precipitous drop from being a potential number one pick, top 5 pick, top 10 pick, falling all the way to the 5th round to the Cleveland Browns. So we're just gonna go around the board. What do you feel? Do you feel it's his dad and his presence? Do you feel it's the cockiness, the arrogance? What's your take? Squeak, I'm gonna start with you.
I do feel like it's a shot at his dad. I mean, you talk about a guy that got the numbers, that was in the Heisman running. He had everything, didn't have an offensive line, showed he had the grit to pull through. And then all of a sudden, when the season was over, and it's you hear all these bad things when they come to the draft about him. And I don't want to hear the stuff, him not going to the combine and nothing like that, being cocky. We saw Baker Mayfield do the same thing. We saw Johnny Manziel, all of them went first round. So to drop down to the 5th round, I was just shocked. I was shocked how the New York Giants worked him out. They didn't draft him. I was shocked how other teams were interested in him, like the Saints. They didn't draft him. I think this is something he can build from. I think they just sent a message out, I would say, just to his father about control. I think he should take it personal, but I still think he should just, continue to grind, work on himself, work on getting better, do all the little games that rookies do, do your film study. And then, 4 or 5 years from now, when you're out of your rookie deal, hey, break their head, bust their head, That's how I feel about it. It's their game, is their system.
Do you think Cleveland is still a graveyard for quarterbacks? Do you think he set up to fail there?
Well, here's the thing. I think with Deshaun Watson, I think with Baker Mayfield, they got to get it right. They got to get it right. You've had 2 quarterbacks that you played over with. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say they have like 4 quarterbacks, on their roster right now with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, another quarterback they drafted, I'm not mistaken. So yeah,
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel. So he's like the 4th. So he really don't have to do anything but just know the system and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I think he do have to work on certain things like getting rid of the ball quicker. You know what I'm saying? Just learning from the pros is what he really has to do. Like your goal really is to get to the next level. Your ego wants you to be first round pick or go in the 1st round. That's all they did. They were just messing with his ego.
But here's the thing, Squeak. When you're a 5th round pick, you don't get those opportunities to show what you can do. You're basically holding a clipboard. He's basically fighting for. But before we get into that, let's go around the table. And what you got to? How do you feel about it? Do you think this was directly because of Dion, or do you think it was because of Shedeur's arrogance, or a combination of both?
I got a different point of view. I don't know. I got a different point of view. I don't know if anybody heard. I haven't heard anybody else say this, but I believe Dion and his camp overshot his value. With that being said, he's kind of like a Allen Iverson when he got too old to be good. Can I bring him in? He's the people champ. Everybody love him, but he ain't good enough. And you got your dad who said that he would coach in the NFL to coach you. Who gonna bring that into their organization? I'm gonna draft my future replacement dad. I mean his son. I just think, and he came out and said certain teams we not gonna go to. Well, it was only a few teams that needed a quarterback, and he cut out 2 or 3 of them. So I think it's kind of self-inflicted on Shedeur, his dad, and his camp that this happened. I think it's kind of they overshot, and teams wasn't that desperate for what his talent wasn't undeniable enough for them teams to say we're gonna take all that extra baggage that he brings with his dad and the pressure to win. And if we don't win with the quarterback we gotta play him. And then if he don't play well, then his dad gonna be coming from a job.
Okay. Jay, what do you got? How do you see it? The situation with Shedeur?
I can see a combination of what and Hugh said about. I agree with the overvaluing thing. It's not like he was like all world, just undeniable. Came from 2 small programs. He didn't really win. They did win at Jackson State, but they came from two small programs. I think they overestimated his value. I don't think he's cocky where nobody wanted to work with him. I think they were trying to show Deion a lesson. So I think it was just a combination of things. They're trying to basically show that you're not bigger than the program. You don't call shots here if you think that, look at what we can do. So they just use him to set an example. Now, I do think he ultimately ended up on a team that he was probably going to go to anyway. Rodney, you have a point too. When you go 5th, you're not the man. You're not the recruit. You're not red-shirted. You're not technically the next in line to be the guy at that team when you go 5th. You're just somebody who may or may not, work out. But going to the Browns, they're not really deep at the quarterback position. They have their quarterback in Watson, but he's coming off an injury. He's underperforming since getting that big contract. So he may be able to sneak in if Watson gets hurt again. And he may get some playing time if things go wrong for Watson. So I kind of agree with some of everything everybody has said so far. So that's my take.
Okay. I think our feelings as Black people kind of get a little sensitive sometimes, to where we automatically jump to this and that. Now, I do think that there was a little bit of so the NFL is like they a copycat league. So if you don't take them, then well, shit, I'm not gonna take them. And if they don't take them, well, fuck, I ain't gonna take them. I think that went on. But getting back to my original point, we get sensitive sometimes when it comes to the criticism of Black athletes. I don't think people looked at Shedeur as being that type of player. Is why he didn't go first round. Like his talent, like it just doesn't. Nothing about him jumps off the screen and be like, that's gotta be my quarterback. Now, does he have a skill set that could possibly make him be serviceable in the NFL? I definitely think that. So that's kind of maybe where that, maybe the whole attitude thing, maybe that come into a play to where he didn't go 2nd round, 3rd round. He went 5th round. But I think I really think that he didn't get drafted initially because his talent didn't jump off the screen to enough people to make them want to pull that trigger and bring him in. With him going 5th round, like I was saying, Squeak, that's practice squad territory. When you're drafted 5th round, unless there's an injury, that's practice squad. Now they got 4 well, technically they got 5 quarterbacks on the roster
Mm-hmm.
with Deshaun, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur, and Deshaun, Flacco, Shedeur,
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny
I
Pickett.
thought they
So
drafted. Didn't they draft one before
yeah,
him?
the Dylan Gabriel cat is who they drafted
Huh.
out of Oregon. So they got 5 quarterbacks on their roster, which we know they're not carrying 5 quarterbacks. So with
He got
him
to
being
make the
fifth,
team.
fifth round, he's going to have to show out in the preseason. Now, remember, there's only 3 preseason games as opposed to it used to be 4. So when is he going to get enough time on the field to really show what he can do? So getting drafted, yeah, it's great, but being drafted 5th round, it ain't looking good as far as making the team. Now, can he do enough to be on to make the practice squad? Yeah, he probably could. Could he beat out? Could he show he's better than Kenny Pickett and maybe be the third string? Maybe, but I don't see an instance where he gets on the field this year as a starter.
I do. I don't think the Browns plan on keeping Kenny Pickett in Joe Flacco. I think at some point some team gonna need a quarterback, and them two are gonna be up on the board to get trade and get draft picks. Like
You ain't getting no draft picks for them.
if the team is desperate, they will. You know, because you got listen.
No, you're not. No one's giving you a draft.
They let Joe Flacco go out the door.
That's what I'm saying. No one's going to give you a draft pick for Joe Flacco.
They cut him.
Or Kenny Pickett.
They're going to have to cut him. So I got a question.
Go ahead.
Where do you think Shedeur should have been drafted?
What round?
Yeah, what round?
Based on need and
this talent,
skill
like
set. I'm saying
talent.
no. I'm saying based on need and skill set. He probably was a 2nd to 3rd round pick.
To your 1st round pick. Like, let's go back to December. What quarterback was better than him in college? And don't say Cam Ward, because that shit just started this year. That shit just started this year. They talking about Cam Ward was the number 1 pick. So, he was not big. So was Cam Ward in the Heisman running?
Who?
Cam Ward. Was he in the Heisman running? Yeah. So how was he considered better than Shedeur? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit just really started to get built up, you know, in my opinion. When Shedeur was playing, it was always he was the best quarterback in college football. When we get to this year, we get to March, we get to April, all this character shit that they talking about, all that shit was just for the draft. This dude ain't had not one incident off the field.
You know who they comped him as? Like, who is pro, who he comparable to?
Who?
Matt Jones.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Tell me the difference.
Get out of here. Matt Jones crumbled under pressure. Shedeur did it in 2 schools with no offensive line.
Matt Jones won a natty.
So he went in the Patriots, New England. They
no. I'm talking about from college. This college career, him and Matt Jones is about the same.
Hell no. Matt Jones had better tools than Shedeur. Shedeur ain't had no top running back. Who was his top running back?
They didn't run the ball.
Hunter.
He had who?
Hunter.
Travis Hunter? That ain't no running back. That's a receiver. He didn't have no. He didn't
have
no offensive line.
So here's one of the things that okay, when you get into, and I'm not saying that I'm, you know, a guru or anything, but one of the things that I've heard from people who crunched film is that Shedeur was set up to succeed based on the simple scheme that they ran offensively. And if I'm the coach of that team, and I'm the dad of the quarterback, I'm gonna put my son in the best opportunity, give him the best opportunity to succeed. So that's that's one of the things that people talked about. Him coming into the league, the system that they played in, the simplicity of it. And okay, yeah, he looked good in that situation, but how would that translate to the NFL? And we know he did have one bit major flaw, and that was he held onto the ball entirely way too long.
Okay.
And took sacks that he shouldn't take. So that's definitely a red flag for any organization.
But that
So-
could be coached. That could be coached. That you can
But-
fix that with a quarterback coach. But when have you heard? See the one thing that we're supposed to be hearing about him is that he can't read defenses. That's the norm. That's the normal stuff they put on black quarterback, is that he really can't read defense. And now what they're trying to say is that he don't have a good arm strength. We seen the dude throw the ball all over the damn field. He can read defenses. He can run. He can scramble. Yeah, he held on to the ball too long because he was trying to free up his damn receivers. It wasn't like it was receivers open and he just holding the ball on, talking on the cell phone and BS and shit like that. Like, I'm trying to look at a quarterback that was better than him, that went in those first rounds, that jumped off as better talent, because there wasn't. Not even
Cam Ward's talent.
Okay, we could say Cam Ward right now, but we wasn't saying Cam Ward in November and December. All of a sudden, it came this year.
Cam Ward didn't just come out of the blue in March and in April and March. Like he was beginning to be that. Looked at that like the middle part of last season. Like,
yeah,
and I would say before that. Actually, he was viewed like that before that.
Okay, so who followed out the Cam Ward then? And don't say Shedeur, because we can't say Shedeur. Who's out of Cam Ward?
So Hughes, you gotta also think. My grade, I thought he was a 4th or 5th round quarterback.
Excuse me.
I mean, before the draft, I thought whoever drafted him in the 1st round was gonna got a bust. It would have been, but the system he was in, they threw the ball 50 times a game. So that's how he got all his numbers. They didn't run the ball.
I mean,
they systematically produced all the stats that he got.
He only got 10 picks,
in the NFL, they look at measurables, your size, your arm strength, things like that. And it just don't quite match up.
How? He's 6'1". He's 6'1".
Well, I'm just saying.
He's 6'1", he's 21. He could throw here after he young. Shit. Like, I don't get. So here's the thing. He come from Jackson State, right? So of course they was like, that's not a good offense. He go to Colorado. Still his father is the coach. Okay, they're in a big conference now. He's scoring on every damn team. Now they didn't beat every damn team. He's scoring on every damn team. So it ain't like he losing the game because he threw 5 or 6 picks. So how they breaking down like this dude is
well, he was in the worst conference this year. Actually, he was in the when they came in, they were in the Pac-12 the first year.
Yep.
And the Pac-12 was good that year. And they went 4-8.
That's why he was 4-8.
So
when Travis Conner left,
they moved to the Big 12, which was not as good this year. And they took off and they had 9 wins.
But listen, when they went 4-8, was that all because Shedeur was throwing interception and fumble? So it wasn't on him.
No. But when you're looking at a quarterback and you're trying to see, okay, is it somebody I'm gonna take with my first pick in the first round or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fucked up, but you start with the negatives. You be like, okay, damn, well, he don't really do this, he don't really do that. I mean, I know that sounds fucked up, but that's kind of how the shit go. You start with what they can't do, and after that, it's like, well, nah, I can't fuck with him.
So do they only do that for black quarterbacks, or they do that for every quarterback?
Every quarterback.
I think they do it for every quarterback. I think they try. I think there was some. I think some funny shit went on definitely with him, but I just don't think he was viewed as being a first round quarterback.
Okay, so so let's play this game. Was Shedeur better than Johnny Football in college?
No.
Was Shedeur better than Baker Mayfield?
No.
Was Shedeur better than what's my man's name?
Tim Tebow?
Tim Tebow.
No.
Okay. So we'll see.
We'll see what he do.
Hey,
See what he do in the NFL. Go ahead. What you say, Jay?
have you? A lot of people had Shedeur as the third best quarterback in this draft. Have you ever seen a third best quarterback consistently rated by reporters and analysts? Third best quarterback in the draft go this far down, in the rounds. Get picked this far down.
I haven't, but I've heard of a top quarterback that was brutally attacked in the media, and he go by Cam Newton. And he was the shit in Auburn. And
He's the number one pick.
They talk so bad about him prior to being the number one pick that he couldn't play and all this shit. And his first 4 games in the NFL, he set rookie records of 400 plus yards. But he's
the number one pick.
It don't matter if he was the number one pick. He was not. He was being billed as if he was a horrible quarterback.
That's what we're saying.
You on mute. You on mute, right?
But
you on mute, right?
That's what we're saying, Hughes. Even though they had all that horrible stuff, they had him evaluated his talent that he was that good. That's why he went number one.
Was I on mute?
Yeah, you was on mute.
Yeah. So with Cam, he stole a laptop and got kicked out of school. That was the issue. His character.
It was more than that with his father.
And they took money and all that.
Yeah.
But when he got on the field, what'd he do? He won a championship in JUCO, and he won a championship at Auburn. So there was no question about his.
But they brought all that shit up come March and April of the draft. They brought all that shit, but you go back to the fall, they didn't say none of that shit. They had a little inklings of it, but as soon as it came down to the draft period, that's when they started flooding the media shit with all this shit. They was really trying to push him down, but Carolina wasn't going for the shit, and they picked him. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought the Giants would do, because the Giants draft, I didn't think he was better than Shedeur. That's just me personally, though. That's just me personally.
But that's who they wanted. They got the quarterback they got is who the OC wanted. That was who they targeted. I just don't think Shedeur didn't move the needle enough to take him with all of the baggage that he has. That's just my thought.
And also, like, when I preface this by saying, well, I thought based on his talent and need, so everybody don't need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, so what was outlined? There were 2 teams outlined, basically. The Saints at 9, and then the Steelers. The Steelers at 21. It was universally figured that none of them other teams in that between those picks needed a quarterback.
Nah, the Giants was in that mix of needing a quarterback, even though they had
Russell. Wanted Dart.
But they didn't even draft him. They drafted the defensive tackle or whatever he is.
Because they knew they could get Dart later.
They drafted twice in the first round. They got the defense tackle and came back and got
the
I know.
Dart was the top 3 quarterback. So they moved back and they picked him later. But Dart was the quarterback they wanted all along. We've seen that before, where teams get in love with the guy. And that's another thing. I think Shedeur didn't take the interview process well leading up into the draft. He thought he was a made man, and he just thought he overplayed his position. He thought he was a made man.
I wouldn't say he overplayed his position more so than he probably was fed a bunch of information. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do it by his damn self. You know what I'm saying? Like if your father been there and done it and walking you down the street or telling you how it's gonna go and this, and shit go left, you know, you only got yourself to look at in the mirror when it's all said and done. Because that's your career.
That's
your
another
dream.
thing. I hope he didn't feel like he's not his father.
Right.
No.
So I would think that he wouldn't take that same mentality into the draft because he's not Deion. So you can't call shots like that. When you marginally like when your talent is in question, I should say.
Well, when you being raised that you can, shit, it's hard to say you can't. Like look at Bronny. He didn't ask to be in the NBA, but his damn father made this shit happen. You're gonna do 1 year of college,
But everybody knows he's not good enough to be there.
Exactly. But it ain't his damn fault. It's what his father wants for him. You follow what I'm saying? Like if your father say, hey, you want to play in the NBA? Damn right I want to play in the NBA. Go here. I'm gonna do all the hard work for you.
Not the same because Deion's not a player. He's not currently playing. So he can't he has no
no power.
He don't have no weight.
It's
like
not
LeBron
the same, but it's the same mentality. The point that I'm making. Basically, you had LeBron pulling strings because of the privilege. Where Deion dropped the ball at is that he's not in the NFL. He brought the spotlight to his son from Jackson State to Colorado. He brought the spotlight. He put the pressures on both his kids. They both delivered. Shedeur delivered. It's just that, at the end of the day, it didn't go first round, second round, third round. Listen, Dak Prescott is a 6th round NFL quarterback.
Nah, he's not 6.
What is he? Undrafted?
4th.
I thought he was 6th round. Okay. I thought he was 6th round.
Brady's 6th round.
Okay. I thought he was 6th round.
But Dak only got a shot because Tony Romo got hurt.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Rod. You don't even think you think it's gonna be hard for him to even make the team.
If you got 5, okay, I know Deshaun's not playing next year. Can he beat out Joe Flacco?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes. Joe Flacco can't run to save his life. Only thing
Shedeur can't run either. So don't let that be the be all.
If I'm Cleveland, I'm keeping my 2 young quarterbacks and let them battle it out. Everybody else getting stuff.
Nah, you're gonna want to keep a veteran. So between Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, I'm gonna keep Joe over Kenny.
I don't think he could beat out Joe Flacco.
Yeah, he could beat Joe.
I think he could beat out Kenny Pickett. I think he could.
So
he could be the backup. He could be the backup to Joe Flacco. And when Joe Flacco, maybe Shedeur can get in.
I mean, you got to realize this. Listen, Cleveland had an opportunity to have Joe Flacco last year. They let him walk just to bring him back. So,
they brought him back as insurance.
There you go.
Right.
They brought him back as insurance.
But see, listen, we know Joe is like Cinderella. Well, 12 hit, he turned into whoever he turned into. He started throwing them picks. So
now, obviously, I'm not saying Joe Flacco is, the greatest. I'm just saying he's a proven veteran. He can go in and he can lead a team to be 6-11, or if they got a little talent, hell, he can lead them to be 9-8. Can Shedeur get himself up to speed in time to be the starter? I don't think he can.
Well, let me ask
I
you.
don't think he'll get the opportunity to get in that position.
Let me ask you a question: Is Joe Flacco better than Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they had Joe Flacco in Indianapolis Colts,
and they benched Anthony Richardson.
So I got a question, Hughes.
What's up?
Is Shedeur better than Jameis Winston right now?
No, because Jameson Winston is a quarterback that has failed many times, and he's a quarterback that has succeeded. So he has a level of confidence. Jameson Winston can throw 4 interceptions in the game, turn back and win the damn game. Don't nothing seems to rattle him.
So Ant, are you saying Shedeur is better than Jameis?
Nah, I'm saying that it's they tit for tat. I'm saying
they not.
I'm saying right if it was Jameis and Shedeur on the team, I'm thinking Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback and Shedeur is the backup. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm saying Shedeur ain't ready this year to be starting quarterback for nobody, and I'm saying it's got. I don't see it. I don't see the future.
Listen,
I see him being a backup.
Listen, as long as he in Cleveland and he make the team the way Deshaun Watson playing, his ass to get on that field. He would get on that field. They have to put him on the field.
I'm like Rob.
It's horrible.
He got too many people ahead of him.
Everybody ain't gonna stay on that squad, man. Can they pick him?
The quarterback they drafted ahead of him is ahead of him.
Is he good?
They drafted him in the 2nd round or 3rd round.
Is he good?
He's gonna be on the team.
He's gonna get first crack at it. Shedeur gonna have to play with the 3rd stringers and hope he can make something pop.
You don't cut 2nd and 3rd string draft picks.
Nah, they on the team.
Shit, it's been done before. Shit, I don't know.
No.
Not their first year.
Yeah, not their first year.
Shit, then your boy from Mizzou,
not the first year.
The gay dude.
He was drafted like 7th round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was
first rounds are starters. 2nd rounds are starters. 3rd and 4th are players. 5th is you trying to make the team. 5th on back, you trying to make the team. Practice squad.
Okay. So that's what we all got our varying opinions on Mr. Sanders. So only time will tell how things work out. And hell, we probably won't know for a couple of years how this team truly works out. But staying with the NFL draft, I mean, I know some of us have our favorite teams. Is there anything from your favorite team that stood out, or in general? And I'm gonna start with you since your team needs the most help.
I'm tired of my team drafting these damn linemen. Defensive ends and defensive tackles. I mean, I know they're in transition, but I don't know. I gotta see how all this pop off with the new coordinator. I ain't too happy with the way the draft went.
Okay. Sweet. Now you're gonna have to clarify for us because I don't know which team, it goes whatever team Russell Wilson playing on, if it's the Cowboys. I mean, you just specify.
So
how do you think your team did in the draft?
I'm a Russell Wilson fan, and I would not be rooting for no damn Giants. That's where I draw the line at. So I won't be rooting for the Giants. I didn't like the shit they pulled. Cowboys, to me, I thought they missed the opportunity. I didn't feel that well about their drafting capability, but in my opinion, they never really draft well. In my opinion, they don't really draft well. They get 1-2 players here and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't think they do well in the free agent. I don't think they do well in the draft. So, another wasteful year.
Jay, you got any thoughts on the draft?
You're on mute.
I'm pretty happy with what the Chiefs did, but it's hard when you are a top team to get good draft picks. So that's my take.
Okay. So I didn't. This didn't seem like it was a good draft to me. It was just, I guess it starts with the quarterbacks. Whenever there's a draft where the quarterbacks aren't that great, it kind of seemed like the whole draft just flows that way. So there wasn't a lot of standouts. I don't recall any standout receivers. Well, I was glad that Luther Burden got drafted. He went to the
Not a
Bears.
bird.
He went to the Bears, so that was good. But yeah, it
St.
was
Louis
just
guy, right? Or East
huh,
St. Louis. We'll say
Yeah,
St.
yeah.
Louis. St. Louis. Okay.
yeah,
Wall in St. Louis Walls guy.
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah. So I was good. I'm glad to see that. But other than that, it was just an average draft. So
What do you think of Travis Hunter at Jacksonville? You think he gonna pop?
No. No.
He got a quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence is gonna
got
waste
a
his
quarterback.
career. Trevor Lawrence is gonna waste his career. He's gonna be running up and down that damn field.
So I'll take him as being a DB and a third wide receiver. That's what I'll take him being.
He definitely ain't gonna be able to cover nobody.
He don't look strong to me.
Yeah.
He looks. I mean, I won't say thin, but
Yeah.
he just don't look strong. And yeah, I think
You're not on the hype.
he needs to go into his body, and give up playing D-back.
So
You remember
you think he's a better receiver?
You remember his first year in Colorado when they played? It was at USC and they had that big ass receiver that was just catching everything on him. The dude's like 6'4", some shit. Travis couldn't stop him.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of what he's going to face is that he's going to, that's why I say he's going to. Ideally, he should pick one or the other. I think he should pick wide receiver. Not saying that he's, Jerry Rice, but the potential to earn is at a wide receiver, also the D-back. So if you focus all your attention to that, maybe you can in a year, your next contract, be 35, 40 million a year, as opposed to being a D-back. I don't know. I don't know. I think we talk about evaluation. That's where that who is you going against? That type of shit comes into play. Like, okay, he was a DB in Jackson State. Yeah, he was. He had a good season. He had a good season last year, I guess, at the D-back. But who did he play against?
That's the question. I definitely remember. I definitely remember him going like their first year at Colorado. I was like, he getting burned. He getting manhandled. He getting pushed around. And I can't remember that receiver name that was doing it to him, but shit, he was doing it to him all damn game.
Okay, I got the Birdman hand rub going on, and that's because of our next topic. It is Mr. Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe getting sued for $50 million for sexually assaulting. I guess she was 19 years old at the time, OnlyFans model. So I know this topic is going to elicit very strong opinions. I'm gonna start with Jay. Make sure you're not on mute. What you got to say?
Shannon Sharpe. He played himself. He got set up, but he put himself in that situation. I think it's funny. I'm gonna be short with my take. I'm gonna let you guys take this, but I just think it's funny how guys keep getting caught in these same situations. At some point, you got to smarten up and just learn these chicks are not for you. It's all a game, so you have to just move a little smarter. So that's pretty much my take.
Okay. And I'm gonna roll with you. Will, how do you feel about the Shannon Sharpe situation?
I feel he was set up, easy prey, and she just trying to get some money. I don't know how much she gonna get, but he just easy prey. I think he was just stupid. I mean, the whole aesthetics of a 19-year-old girl with a 55-year-old man, and then a black man with this little white girl. It was a setup from the word go, and he fell for it. So
Well, set up. I mean, I don't see the setup. I mean, if anything, he's setting himself up.
Well, I'm just saying, she and he into some freaky stuff. So at that point, she knows she can cry, she can yell this rape stuff at any time because of the freaky stuff that they was doing. And then the moment he didn't pay, she waited for him to get that $100 million contract or knew about it before she made it pop. So that's why I said it was set up. She was just waiting for him to get big enough for her to sue him, and that's what it is to me.
What do you
Hey,
think, Steve?
hang on, Hughes. Hang on. Let me add on to what I said. I said he was set up, but I want to emphasize that he played himself. It's not clear that he didn't do anything wrong either. From the text messages we saw, it sounds like he may have taken a girl's butt with that no means no thing. So it's not like, I'm not saying it's like a total setup. He has some fault to play in this also. So I just want to add that on.
Okay. For me, it's a situation of he should know better. You have children, you have a daughter. There's just a certain cutoff as a man. One, when you have children, you definitely shouldn't date younger than your daughter. When you're 55 and you don't have no kids, you can play that little game if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But he should have knew better. And they had that saying, "What happens in the dark come to light." It's just a bad look for him. It doesn't matter if he did anything wrong. I don't think what he did was rape. It just don't look good. And I think it's gonna kill his sponsorship. I think it's gonna kill his brand. You know what I'm saying? It makes him look sloppy. It's not one person we're talking about now. We're talking about his ex that's made a complaint. I mean, I think she had like what do you call that? Not assault, but she had some sort of arrangement on him from
Restraining order?
Yeah, restraining order on him from 2010, and she's now come out and is suing him from like $10 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it rains, it pours. I'm a fan of Shannon, but this kind of shit he doing, like, man, you should know better than that. You too old to play these games and be dealing with such a young lady like that. And, he brought it on himself, man. I think it's a money grab. I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of money out of him when it's all said and done. But I think he's going to lose a whole lot of damn money. I think he's going to lose all the opportunities that he worked hard to get from the ESPN and all this other shit. I think all that shit going to go away. I don't even know if that $100 million podcast and deal that was being rumored talked about, I don't even know that's gonna go through at this point. Just gotta ask yourself, shit, was it worth it? That's my take on it.
Yeah. This is it's his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, he didn't get set up. He lined himself up with his behavior.
Yeah.
It's like you mentioned, it's not just this. I mean, the whole thing that went on with that other woman is why he got let go from CBS in the first place. Okay, then you get this situation. You get the situation with the Instagram Live. All right, and whatever that was. Then don't forget getting into a fight or about to get into a fight on court against the Grizzlies. So he has a history of irresponsible, messy behavior.
And that don't coincide with the type of way he conduct interviews and he give assessments over different topics.
Talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Damn, it just. So
with all this sketchy behavior, who cares? I mean, it doesn't really matter if the shit's true or not, because people are going to get tired of this, of having to explain or look the other way just because you so yeah, we ain't gonna really trip. Like it comes to the point where it's like it ain't worth the especially we're Disney and whatnot. So yeah, you fucking on camera, and now you taking the asshole. And technically, if motherfuckers say no and you do it anyway, that's rape.
I'm still,
So,
I'm
so
still
be that
on
as it
that.
may, it's like, hey, whatever.
Right. When you say no and it's rape, but if we was agreeing to it at first, she
Don't
eating
matter.
his butthole and it was
Don't
all
matter.
good.
I can say yes 76 times, but on that 77th time, I say no, and you take it. Them other 76 don't mean shit. Like, you raped me then. So, obviously she ain't really trying to go the criminal route, because that don't get justice. I mean, that can get justice, but she ain't gonna get paid. So, like, you go the criminal route. You file. I mean, the civil. You go civil to where you can get broke off. So,
I mean, so let me ask you a question. At what point do you say no to $10 million?
at what point do you say no?
Yeah, like wasn't the rumors is that he tried to offer her $10 million or $20 million to settle, and she said no? Like, what 20-year-old say no to $20 million?
When you got somebody in your ear say you can get more.
She got a lawyer that's successful in winning these cases. Then she got a lot of evidence. She got sex tape, text messages, recorded conversations. She got a lot of evidence.
So I get $20 million just me negotiating that myself. The lawyer give me 50. If he wants
You get 10.
45% of that, so I walk around, I end up with $5 million.
You get 10 by yourself.
Yeah, I get 10 by myself. I'm not saying no to that.
Mm.
Cause I could take that deal. I'm coming back next year.
You
for
put
another
yourself in
10.
her position. This dude just fucked you in the ass, raped you in your ass, versus that $10 million. And no telling what he did after that.
Was this the first time they had anal? Or she just was on some no shit? I mean, because it seemed like they was hella freaky.
It don't matter.
Yeah, that's what
Just one time, like Rodney said, it could be 100 times. Somebody you say no is no.
I mean, but shit, you could also be saying no because you recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could also be saying that because I know, we this is round 2. So shit, I got what I wanted out of round 1. I didn't set up the cameras and the recording. I'm saying that shit just for my little meal, my evidence shit, Yeah, I get it. I get it. You say no, yeah, but you gotta prove that shit in court.
Yeah. But
that's the part where I think it's set up.
Rodney, were you talking about the incident where he had to settle for $100,000 for choking some lady at work?
Damn, I ain't even.
One of the networks, he choked some lady. They settled for like $200,000. So
okay,
he has a history of.
I'm gonna have to sit down.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, there's no sympathy here because he has a pattern of sketchy behavior. And so for me, I think his stardom, this newfound stardom, has gone to his head. Like, he played, he's a professional football player, so obviously you get a certain level of notoriety from that. But he's gotten more notoriety from just from being on, on what's the show? Undisputed, being on ESPN, doing the Club Shay Shay podcast.
Yeah.
That has taken him to a different type of celebrity, and he hasn't handled that well. He's been fucking on camera. He's been getting in fights at basketball games. He's been taking assholes, threatening to choke bitches. Like, he has not handled his newfound celebrity well at all.
And it's crazy because when Skip went off on him on live TV, he didn't do shit about it. I thought he handled it the correct way, but shit. When you hear all this, it's like, yeah, you should have came across the table and swung on Skip.
And I told you niggas for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, nah, man, he ain't talking. Man, it ain't like that. Yeah.
Jump across the table and knock Skip ass the fuck out.
But he still was trying to secure the bag, so he couldn't do that.
Okay, so just real quick, he stepped down. We all know he didn't voluntarily step down. He was dismissed. He was told to sit down. And does he come back? Let's see what he say. He's supposed to be the preseason, so that would be August of this year. Do you all think he'll be back? One word answer.
It all depends where the court cases go.
One word answer.
No.
Hold on, Rodney. Hold on. Let me add something. I want to give him some credit. He has not ran. He didn't run and hide. He's still doing his YouTube show. I want to add one thing. His $100 million deal is not coming from a network, is what I heard. It's coming from the YouTube side. He has his own podcast network. He has a couple shows of his own. So that's where the money is coming from. So he still may catch that bag. It may be decreased, but he's not counting on Disney for this $100 million deal.
That's correct. That's correct. But what's whoever's behind that deal, shit, like damn.
Yeah.
I know it was 100. I know I said 100, but shit, I'm thinking more like 45 now.
Yeah. At least 30 dropped off the table.
Yeah. So, like I said, one word answer. Will he be back in August? No, Jay?
On ESPN, no.
I say yes. I say they settle out of court.
Yes, and Squeak, what you got?
Yeah, I say yeah, he'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a yes.
What's your answer?
No. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he cooked.
I don't think he'll be back. Okay, so this one, I don't know if anyone caught this one, and I barely caught it, but we're switching up to Shaq. Shaq hating on Shannon. Is anyone familiar with this one?
No, I'm not familiar with this one.
So Matt Barnes brought up that there's potentially some leaked audio where Shaq is trying to get dig up information on Shannon, negative stuff on Shannon Sharpe. Give me 1 second. Which is when you say why, it's gonna lead me to my next follow-up question. Shaq
gotta be podcast related.
So let's see. So Matt Barnes following dissemination of what purportedly is a leaked audio of Barnes claiming his former teammate wanted scandalous information about Shannon Sharpe. So apparently there was some kind of conversation that Matt Barnes and Shaq was having, and he was trying to dig up information. He wanted information on Shaq. I mean on Shannon.
From Matt, or he wanted Matt to do the
audio clip of what it says that Barnes is alleging that O'Neal was looking to dig up dirt on his rival and spread it across the internet.
Oh.
So I was in this group. So this is Matt Barnes' quote. I was in the group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and Shaq said he was paying top dollar for any information on old boy being Shannon Sharpe. The supposed Barnes said in a snippet. So yeah. So apparently Shaq was trying to dig up information on this nigga. So what do you think about that? Well, before you answer, so this brings up another question. Is Shaq a hater? Not just because of this, but just think about his whole get up on inside the NBA. He always hating on the newer players. He's hating on Dwight Howard. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is Shaq in this nonsense? I know I just sprung this on y'all, but just hearing that, what do y'all think?
Shit, he embodying the spirit of Wilt Chamberlain. Has always seemed like that. That's how Wilt used to be. Shaq is nice and lovable to I guess, other entertainers and NBA guys, but I guess guys that he feel like can walk in his shoes, and you know what I'm saying, he ain't so friendly with them. I don't know if there's competition more so than his competitive edge or what, because it ain't like he compete with them. It is hating. I think he don't like the way sometimes Shannon has spoke about him, and that could be why they're rivals, but I don't know. It's hating. Ain't no smooth way to say it. It's bitch shit too. When you break it all down, you know what I'm saying. You gonna pay somebody top dollars to dig up some dirt, and you spread some he say she say type stuff. Man, you got kids out here. You don't want nobody doing that on your children. So nah, I don't rock with stuff like that. This is my personal opinion.
And what do you think about hearing that?
It's pretty soft on Shaq. Unless that man sleeping with his wife or girlfriends or something costing him some money. And even then, it's still soft. It's just soft. It's weak. It don't make no sense to me. Cause I don't even know what Shannon could have done to him to make him be want to dig this up. So it's soft.
Yeah, I don't see how they're rivals. They don't operate in the same space for real.
Right.
Jay, how do you feel about Shaq and his hating culture?
I have to pass on this one. I don't really have enough information to have an opinion on it.
So what I'll say is Shaq is the biggest hater. To quote Kendrick, he the biggest hater. And I think basketball wise, he's a hater because he knows in his heart he was lazy, and he could have done. I don't know if they could have won more, but he could have gave a better effort.
Yeah, I didn't believe Kobe when Kobe was saying that. I didn't see it then, but I could look back and see. I could look back and see that.
Well, no, you could definitely see it because
I didn't acknowledge it.
He would come into the season overweight.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't nothing but being lazy and not working.
Yeah,
He talking about he will work himself into shape during the season. So that's the epitome of being lazy. So I think when people talk about the greatest of all time, the great players of all time, when his name is not mentioned, I think that hurts him because he knows it was his fault, and that causes him to be a hater. Always, and he hate on his own people with Shaq. I mean, with Charles and them, with Charles especially about not winning the championship. I mean, I get it. Charles didn't win a championship, but Shaq wasn't. And this might sound blasphemous, or you might not agree, but Shaq isn't that much better of a player than Charles. Position for position, I don't think Shaq's that much better than Charles.
We're gonna disagree on that one.
Huh?
We will disagree on that one. I mean,
Yeah,
I
don't think he is.
He was a dominant player. I can't take that from him. He was a dominant.
Yeah, he's dominant.
Did I say he was bad? No.
No. I'm just saying Charles was not as dominant as Shaq.
Yes, he was.
Nah.
Yes, the fuck he was. Yes, he was. He was dominant.
He was a force of nature, but he was.
That's what Shaq was.
Yeah, but Shaq was like, your center got to be his shit. Charles,
yeah.
you could try to
25 and 12.
Yeah, that's what he was. You could.
That's what both of them were in their peaks, like 25, 12. Well, and Shaq really wasn't that much of a rebounder. He may have scored. He may have had a couple years where he scored more, but I said he's not that much better of a player than Shaq. I mean, than Charles. I didn't say Shaq wasn't shit. I said he's not that much better of a player than
I can't agree.
And that's where we just disagree. I think Shaq is on a different level than Charles. That's it.
Yeah.
Charles is real good.
He's only there because he won championships. That's all. because when they both were named top 50, neither one of them motherfuckers had a chip. So they were great players. But you know, Shaq has been, you know, he finally got his championship, so that kind of elevated him.
But you gotta look at it like
pound
this.
for pound, he's not that much better than Shaq.
You gotta look at it like this with Shaq though. Even though he didn't win the championship with Orlando, he got them there.
Okay.
You know, that's more than what Charles did. You know, like Charles.
No, not really.
I mean, he only went with Phoenix, right? He didn't
Yeah,
take.
but at that time, they both had one finals appearance.
Yeah, I like.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I just think Shaq was more dominant longer than Charles. Charles had about 2-3 years. I think Shaq had more years that he was dominant.
So what years are you saying?
They both had the same situation where they were both coming in camps, not in shape and shit.
No, Barkley got in shape. That's what took his game to another level. The thing that happened with Shaq was he got Kobe. He got Phil Jackson. Like Charles Barkley never got that.
Yeah.
He won without Phil and Kobe.
Who?
Shaq.
What?
In Miami. He won the championship without Phil and Kobe.
He had Dwayne Wade.
It don't matter shit, but he won.
He had so it don't matter, but he got another top 75 player on his team.
It don't, man. He got it though. Shit. That's more than what Charles switched teams too. And he's still
well, if that's the case, Kobe did better. Kobe's even better because he won without a top 75 player.
I can't knock that.
Yeah.
I can't knock that. I ain't gonna argue with that. Kobe caught his ass out back when I wasn't believing what he was saying was the truth.
Yeah, I think you wasn't believing that because Kobe did the bitch shit himself when he called out, you know, snitched on Shaq. But
I wasn't around with him. I didn't honestly, being honest, I didn't think he was speaking the truth. And I could look back at him and was like, yeah, I was tripping. He was right. He was 100% right. And you know he had to be right if Shaq can admit that he was telling the truth about him not living to his potential because there was nobody to stop his ass. He had Elijah Wine giving him that drop step that he couldn't do nothing with. But shit, you know, other than that, he was dunking all over.
Yeah, other than that, but meanwhile, a guy who played right in his era got 5 championships too. So he couldn't have been too dominant.
You talking about who?
Tim Duncan.
Oh, Duncan.
I mean, but shit, Duncan coming with Popovich and they team.
I'm just saying
that team was
during his time, during Shaq's prime years. There's another guy that got 5 championships.
It's just like Magic and Bird.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
That ain't no knock. You talking about motherfucking? You talking about one of the best?
No one got 5 titles in Jordan's prime years.
I said Magic and Bird.
What about it?
Same thing. Bird got titles in Magic time. Magic got titles in Bird time.
Magic got 5 of them things. Magic made the finals 9 out of 10 years in the 80s. Bird didn't have it.
Jordan couldn't win until Bird was done putting his foot in his ass.
Yeah.
So Bird
you can't. There are no players who have prime in their prime. You know, damn, this motherfucker got 5. He's supposed to be the best. And and Tim Duncan, he quietly just got 5 championships while the most dominant center in the history of the game was playing. So I don't know. But speaking on the NBA, let's pivot to the NBA playoffs. Right now, OKC went. They disposed of the Grizzlies like we all figured they would. We got Minnesota up 3-1 on the Lakers. We got Boston. I think they're in a dog fight with Orlando right now. So just give me your. Yeah.
Is Tatum playing?
Yeah, he played the last game. So, what are your all thoughts on the NBA playoffs? Any surprises? Anything that caught you by anything that caught you by surprise? I should say.
Well, I knew the Lakers were some fakes from the beginning. I always thought that they didn't win that Luka trade. This is just me. And I'm looking forward to seeing them get gentleman sweeps up out of here.
Well, I think they want to trade. I think the thing is the Lakers aren't a better team. So I'll put it. Let me put it this way. What is LeBron? Is LeBron a top 15 player in the league right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got two top 15 players on your roster right now, with Luka obviously being a top 3 or 4 player, and LeBron still in that top 15. So you got two top 15 players. Is this version of the Lakers better than the Lakers that won that bubble championship?
No.
With two top 10 players and a better supporting cast?
No.
Yeah. No. But I'm just saying they had two top 15 players before the trade.
That's what I'm saying. Nothing changes. You got a better player with Luka, but you still don't have what it takes around them to win. So that's why I was like, okay, they got a better player, but they still ain't ready to win the championship unless Austin Reeves is your third best player every night. And that's what he can't be. He can't be the third best player on some nights, and then it could be Hoochie Mama one night, and whoever else they got. It has to be Austin Reeves he has to be consistently the third best player every night in order for them to win.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say the Lakers never win with Luka. I'm gonna go on a limb and say Luka leave LA in a few years. I don't know how long he got on his contract, but he don't stay in LA.
Well, he's up for he can't get the Supermax no more.
Yeah, they played him in that. What I'm saying is he's not gonna stay 10 years in LA. He's never going to win a championship in LA. He's never going to win a championship, period.
I won't go on that limb. I will say him and LeBron won't win the championship together.
Let me jump
I'm
in.
saying, Luke.
My quick hot take. They still have talent, but they just look old. They look a little slower than the new up and coming young bucks trying to keep up with those guys. So, LeBron is at the end of his run. Luka looks a little fat, and he plays well. He has a nice fadeaway jump shot, but he doesn't look like a killer. He doesn't look like he has that killer instinct.
That's what they don't have. They don't have the necessary road guys on a squad that they had in the bubble. They don't have a defender. If you foul Luka, this cat coming off the bench, they don't have that. They don't have. There's only LeBron and Luka that can create their own damn shots. So you maybe rebuke his ass up, So they missing a few things. The pieces are there. The core is there. The pieces are there. You know what I'm saying? They just gotta maybe not this year, maybe next year they can run it back.
The pieces ain't there.
Yeah,
if you ask me, they're not there. They got two guys, and then they got a guy who they want. I mean, who they want to be the third guy, but that's just
they don't have it this year, but they can get to it. They're not that far from it. They're not that far from it. It's not they can get it from the draft. They can get it from free agency.
They are far from it.
No.
If you look at it, he's so bad defensively. You're going to have a team full of defenders to help him out. And his usage He got the ball. He can only play with the ball in his hands 100% of the time. That ain't gonna win.
Listen, that to me, that's off-season coaching film review of how you can make yourself better. You know,
He been doing it. This is the way he been playing. He
This
played
is
with
who
the
he is.
national team that way. He played with Dallas that way. That is who he is.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not. I wasn't upset that Dallas got rid of him. I wasn't upset. I realized that Celtics series last year is the reason why. That was the reason why they got rid of his ass.
Nah, you can't put that on him.
All right,
No.
I can't. If your star dude is being called out defensively every go around, yeah, that's they exposed him.
But that's nothing new. he
That's
never
nothing new.
he can't play defense. They couldn't.
You know
The
who
reason
he
why
reminds?
Dallas lost is because
You
they
know
couldn't
how
score.
you know how somebody think you are who you are, but it's not until you get into that situation that a person can clearly see what it is. Somebody been forewarning you that, hey, this person, if shit go down, this motherfucker's gonna run on you. And it's not until the shit go down, this person take off and run. Now they've been warning you all along that this person will just take, when the drama kick off, this motherfucker's gonna leave. It's not until you see it that you realize, like, oh, I thought this person would stand up and at least, cuss a person out, but shit, I turned my head like this motherfucker was gone. That's what they found out in Dallas.
You know who he is?
Ugh.
He's Allen Iverson.
Nah. AI win that. AI win at the Lakers. He didn't have no help.
Different kind of style, he's Allen Iverson.
He's a much better player
Iverson
than Allen Iverson.
is a beast. He just didn't have no help.
He's much better player than him.
Yeah.
Who?
I said Luka is a much better player than Iverson.
Offensively, but defensively, he don't bring nothing that.
I mean, what's Allen Iverson that's 6 feet doing that defensively?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. So
what I'm saying, Allen Iverson was a scoring force that no one could stop with his speed, and he's going to score. But he lacked defense because he was 6'1". He was little. They put a team of defenders around him. That's the team that made the finals. They put a bunch of defenders around Luka. That's the team that made the finals. He's never going to win.
I disagree. Like, just because you're a liability on defense is not going to seal. That's not what's going to seal Luka's fate as to whether he win a championship or not. Because
I just don't think the style he played with the ball in his hands every possession is going to win. I just don't believe it in the style that he plays to win a championship.
I mean, they got pretty close last year. So,
yeah. So
you the guru. Who else won playing like that? Name another team that won playing like that.
Another team that played like what?
One guy has the ball in his hands almost like every possession.
Shit, wasn't Tony Parker like that?
They had Duncan, man.
But he wasn't no motherfucker. He was a defensive liability.
I mean, Magic in the Lakers. The ball was in Magic's hand all the time.
I mean, just think how far back that is, though.
No, just off the top of my head, he came to mind.
Shit, 84.
I mean, but I mean, if you think about it, it's with the dominance of the Bulls, the Lakers again. There's only a handful of people that won championships.
Well, I'm just talking about.
I get what you're saying, but
I mean, finding a champion,
I get what you're saying, but you can go back 25 years and you can only talk about 4 teams. Like might be 4 teams that won a championship. So therefore, yeah, it's going to be hard to name somebody. So yeah, I have to go back to Magic because when you think the Warriors got 4, Spurs got
Warriors, 5, Spurs,
Lakers, Bulls. So it's
Steph kind of like a defensive liability, though.
Huh?
I said Steph kind of like a defensive liability.
Not kind of like he was.
He was. But I'm talking about more so He a defensive liability,
And the ball
and
was in
he
his hands
gotta have the ball in his hands all the time.
and they won.
He don't even let other people kind of like he can get the little. He's James Harden.
Who, Luka?
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he that.
James Harden ain't never gonna win either.
No. Carmelo
Yeah.
Anthony. Yeah, I get you. I ain't arguing with you on that part. I get you.
Yeah, he just a different. He's James Harden in a slow white body.
But I also think too that you have to have teammates to hold you accountable too, to point out different things, to assistant coaches, to have you look at film study, to have you study yourself and see why it is you're not getting what it is you want out of this particular season. You know, every athlete can grow if they put forth the effort. You know,
That nigga ain't trying to play D.
Listen, it's what you first started doing when you played basketball. So I don't understand how he can't do it. I don't understand how he can't do it. Everybody play basketball, stands in front, try to either block your shot, steal your shot. Everybody that play basketball that came in being introduced to the game. This is how we play basketball. So I don't understand how he is just acting like this on a professional level. I can't.
Just because I
James
mean,
Harden.
everybody can't play defense.
Listen,
Like that's
if you go back to
everybody
James
can't
Harden,
play.
go back to James Harden college years.
Right.
He didn't look like that defensively like he does in the NBA. He gave more of an effort. I don't know what it is, or the coach is
But
not
I'm
holding him
saying
accountable. I don't know.
James Harden and Luka both is the same thing. They had a ball in their hand 200% of the time. They dribble, shoot, dribble, do the little passes. So they stat sheet stuffers. They gonna get all their stats, but they never gonna
So
win.
I get that. I get that. Like I'm just pushing back on this whole defense thing. Like the whole narrative about him not being able to play defense. Yeah, he can't play defense, true enough. But that's not going to be what holds them back. You know, I lean more towards what you say, and you know, the ball dominance, not
Yeah,
not being able to play off the ball. That would be more of a deterrent from him winning a championship, not the fact that he can't play defense. Because
the he can't play defense is adding to the story of if you're gonna be so ball dominant and everything lies on you, and you ain't playing no defense.
well, and you fat and out of shape, and you drink beer and you smoke hookah, yeah. But they still
Never,
shouldn't trade.
So who y'all got coming out the East? Who y'all got coming out the West? When you get to that, who y'all got?
Well, ain't nothing changed for me. I still got OKC and Boston. So the Lakers getting knocked off in 5. It'll be good. It'll be because it's always good when the Lakers and Cowboys lose. So
You got OKC coming out the West and Boston out the East.
yeah,
it's pretty chalk to me. I mean, OKC don't. I don't see nobody beating OKC.
I do.
Who?
I got the Clippers.
well, the Clippers got to get by Denver.
They go get past Denver. Y'all gonna see that. They go get past Denver.
It's gonna have to be in 7.
Yeah, they go get past Denver.
And
I got the Clippers.
And that's a bad thing for the Clippers. If you go to game 7, game 7, James Harden ain't what you want.
That nigga gonna do what he gonna be looking like Luka. He gonna be out there holding the ball, dribbling, shooting all them threes, and then not playing no D.
Yeah.
He better hope Kawhi can save him.
Better hope he can. Kawhi can stay injury free.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on from the NBA playoffs, and we're gonna move into just a topic I don't even want to talk about, but I just had to include it. Motherfucking Kanye West in this, consistently saying the most outlandish shit So with his latest shit, he said that he sucked his cousin's dick from the age of 6 to 14. Is this just more of Kanye doing whatever it takes to stay relevant, stay in the news, or do you think he really did this and he just venting?
That's crazy.
Jay, what you think?
I tend to agree with the people who say he's trying anything. So he went with the naked wife thing. That didn't really work, or it worked for a while, then it faded away. He went with the KKK stuff. He went with the black KKK outfit. Now he's on to this cousin stuff. So he's just going through. He went at Jay-Z, went at his ex-wife. He's just trying anything to stay relevant. So at this point, I just ignore it. If good music comes out, I listen to the music, but the antics, I just ignore the antics and just ignore it.
Yeah, I can't even listen to the music. Matter of fact, like I haven't listened to anything from him. I don't know, 7 years maybe. Squeak, what you think about this nonsense?
I'm fucking him. I don't take nothing he say serious. He is a walking epitome of clickbait. He just says shit and he say hurtful shit. Like I like to say what he said about Jay-Z and Beyonce's children, Remy and I can't think of the boy name. That's just kids off limits. You don't ever take that route and speak down on someone's children like that, and then just want to hide behind, oh, I'm bipolar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take that cat serious. Anything happened to him, it is on him. You know what I'm saying? But I will never support his ass again. So far as his new music that he coming out, I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I didn't like how he was trying to take some of K-Dot shine and was talking about he wasn't a good rapper and all this. That man, you didn't pay.
So he only got one bar.
Yeah, like you paid that man the right for you. Get the hell out of here with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a time where you have to really cut a person off, and their apology doesn't mean anything. I think when it happened to Drake, I didn't care for it, but he was foul as fuck to put Drake's address out there like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But he would never be my personal friend. I don't take him serious. I'm glad I'm not related to him. Glad he ain't my daddy saying no shit like that. It's wild, man. And to think that this cat back in 2003 or 2004 when he came out with his album, he was like a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying? Just he wasn't no gangster or nothing like that, and he was just speaking that had just incredible beats and shit like that, and just I was happy for this cat. Now, I mean, he's one of live shows. He's one of the best artists. He brought something to the game of hip hop when it comes to live performance. All these guys you see with these multiple stages, they got that off of Kanye. Prior to that, all these dudes had was a backdrop walking from left to right. Ye introduced all this lighting and all this stage shit, but even that shit can't save him. I don't rock with him no more. And that's just how I feel. That he was one of my favorite artists, and he hurt my heart just going off on the deep end like that. So I'm done with the cat.
It all falls down, huh?
Yep.
What about you, Ant?
I can't get what none he's saying. So I never really rock with him. I for sure ain't rocking with him now. He just dead to me. For real.
So with all this shit that he's saying, I mean, he's talked about people's kids. He's talking about people, how they smell. With all the hurtful things that he's saying. Does it ever get a time where you think somebody's gonna press the issue with him? Because it seems like people just ignore him, or maybe go at him a little bit go back at him on online or whatever. But do you ever think it'll get to a point where a motherfucker will be like, if I see this nigga, I'm beating his ass.
I think he a punk. You know, like it's some guys that when you see him miss on sight, you okay with hurting them. He not worth doing 12 years or 25 years to life for. He a punk like that. Like, I don't think he no dude that if you haul off and hit him in his jaw, he gonna, swing back at you or up a pistol up on you. I don't think he could fight because he talking like he can't fight, like Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like when a motherfucker ain't got their ass whooped, they quick to just talk. But when you didn't have to tussle and had to throw a 1-2 and take off running and shit, you know what it's like to just.
So that's what I'm saying is like, can he just continue just to say whatever the fuck he wants about anyone he wants? Would there never be any kind of repercussions behind that?
I think he figured out the code of that real life shit that really just get people to talking and looking and shit like that. However, he's monetizing his money. He's doing that. He's hitting. He came with the MAGA shit. I think that's what he's found out. Like no different from Charleston White. That's a lane. That's a lane for some people.
Now, I have seen people try to run up on him though.
Yeah, but for the most part, shit, he's still around.
He's still around. What I'm saying is where it just nothing ever happens to this dude. Like,
but Ye come with security. It ain't like he out and about at Walgreens by himself. Ye come with security. Shit, you go around get shot running up on him. It's just you pay him no mind, man. This dude ain't been the same since he lost his mom. And I know that could be a tricky, situation, take you down a deep road, but all this shit is not this shit is uncalled for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fuck him.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. But I think it may be improbable based on what you said as far as how he rolled, but he really needs for someone to beat his ass.
Yeah, all they need to do is offer up a celebrity boxing match and see if he show up.
Yeah. Somebody just need to catch him slipping one day and beat the shit out of him.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap things up with Swerps of the week. Squeak, I'm gonna start with you. Who is your Swerp of the week?
I mean, I gotta go with the NFL. I gotta go with the NFL. They did it once again. With the draft and shit, it was giving me reminiscence of Colin Kaepernick and shit like that. I hate to see Shedeur get played like that. And so it was just, it was horrible. At first, when I was hearing all the talk that he was slipping out to the 10th pick and possibly not in the first round, I was just like, hey, get out of here. Not Shedeur. But to see that shit go on and on, man, they Swerp, man.
Okay. And what about you? Who's your Swerp of the week?
Shannon Sharpe for getting caught up in all this.
Damn, we got a lot of low hanging fruit on these Swerps of the week.
Well, I mean, it's low hanging fruit, but he just Swerp just for putting it out there, getting put in a situation when he don't have to get put in a situation. So, double negative. White girl, and she's 19. So, Swerp of the week.
Nah, she's 20. She was 19 when they met. She's 20 now.
Well,
she's 22. She's 22?
Yeah, 22.
Like, if it was a sister, I don't think he would have been like this. I think she'd have took the $10 million and ran.
Does Shannon stay bunny hopping?
Mm-hmm. He like OJ. He ain't learned this lesson.
Yeah, you gonna still stay? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, Jay, what about you? Who's your Swerp of the week?
They're like OJ. Shannon Sharpe lawyer. Not Shannon. Shannon Sharpe too, but his lawyer. His lawyer threw him under the bus right out the gate.
Yeah, that $10 million.
Like, I don't understand why she didn't take it. I've never heard a lawyer say that. So his lawyer is Swerp of the week.
What the lawyer say?
He didn't know why the lady, the accuser, did not take the $10 million. So it's like, it's perception. When you offer to settle with somebody, you look guilty. So
Yeah.
I didn't understand why his lawyer would say he didn't understand why she didn't take the 10 million. You're supposed to say something like you're supposed to say something like, yeah, we offered her 10 million, but right out the gate, it doesn't mean that he's guilty. You can't say, I don't understand why she didn't take it. It makes him look more guilty.
But then Shannon say that was false. Did Shannon Sharpe say that the 10 million offer was false?
No, his lawyer said it happened.
No, I haven't heard Shannon say that was false.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
People was trying to say he knew he had 100 million coming, so this 10 million was light work.
Yeah. My Swerp of the week. Go ahead. What'd you say?
If 100 is coming, he has to break that down. Taxes, lawyers, agents.
Yeah, it's not like he getting a check cut for 100 mil.
That 100 might not be for 1 year. That might be a multi-year deal.
Yeah.
I think all that, the video and the text message. I saw somebody today went to Cedric's daughter's birthday party. He said that sex video, he thinks Shannon Sharpe is on there getting pegged in the butt. There's something going on with that video.
Mm.
He mentioned it. He said it's going to be a video to come out, and they gonna only show you a few minutes of it, but he wants them to show the full thing. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
He said in a few minutes that they showing, she was getting the best of me, but if you show the full clip, I reversed and I got the best of her. So I guess that's what he's saying.
What he's saying is they gonna show you like a 10-second clip of where this nigga is doing some crazy shit, and this bitch might be saying no, stop, and then but if you go on past that point, you'll still see them going at it. You know what I'm saying? And now she choking him, or they still at it when she was telling him no or some shit like that. So that's what I think it's like.
That's an effed up way to lose your career. That's an effed up way to lose your career.
You better pay that white girl and try to avoid going to jail and move on.
That's why I think she had him set up, because she got all the video. He ain't got nothing. Because he said if he had it, he would post it. He ain't got nothing. She got all the videos, everything.
Yeah, because he an old nigga. He a unk. He think he know everything, but he don't know shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know how to get on Instagram Live. I don't even know how that happened.
You the sugar daddy.
You just Anyway, let me give my Swerp of the week real quick. My Swerp of the week is, and this cat, he's gotten it from me quite a few times. LeBron James. He is my Swerp of the week.
What do he do?
Nothing. That's the problem. He did nothing. So let's go back. A month or two ago, what did he do to Stephen A. Smith when Stephen A. Smith made a comment about his parenting skills? He confronted that nigga on the court, in between quarters.
Right.
Kevin Gates talked about this man's wife. They sparring back and forth on internet, and then he shows up to the Lakers game it's courtside, and this nigga don't say nothing. He don't have that same energy. So he's my Swerp of the week. You ran. It's a Will Smith situation. You went up there and smacked motherfucking Chris Rock because it's Chris Rock, and you felt you can get away with it. He ran up on Stephen A. Smith because he knew he could get away with it. But when Kevin Gates said this shit about his wife and then popped right up courtside, the nigga didn't even look over there.
Hey, you got a point, man, because I promise you, I've daydreamed about him telling Kevin Gates, hey, come with me, let's walk down this tunnel and beat the shit out of Kevin Gates. Yeah.
Not you daydream that.
Because
I don't like Kevin Gates for that comment. I thought that was just off the wall.
Yeah, it is, but hey, keep that same energy.
So you say he should have stepped to him before, middle, during the game, and be like, "What's up?"
Yeah, if you gonna step to Stephen A. In
Yeah,
between quarters, why you just gonna let this man say shit about your wife?
but I do also understand you can't keep on responding to that shit. But I would have said something to Kevin Gates though. But you just can't keep doing that.
To me, what Kevin Gates said, or him just talking about your wife, is more disrespectful. Wait, because what he said about Bronny, he wasn't even disrespectful.
No, I didn't think it was either. I didn't think what Stephen A. Smith was going was from a disrespectful angle. But I just think LeBron was tired of his ass, I guess.
I guess he ain't tired of Kevin Gates then.
Yeah, I don't know, because I definitely kind of looked at that sideways. Because I mean, they blew that up on social media, posting a picture of him, sitting courtside with his woman. I mean, I would at least went over and shook her hand. I would at least walked over and kissed her on the hand and all that shit and just looked at him. You know what I'm saying?
I'd have had the motherfuckers like, hey, dog, throw the ball over here.
Man,
I'm finna go run right into this nigga.
Dive into his ass with your shoulder. Yeah,
I'm finna go run right into this nigga.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
That just show that move he did to Stephen A. was even softer. He did it because he knew he can get away with it.
Yeah, I mean,
because he just signed that big contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, I think it needed to be had. My man Stephen A. do be talking reckless sometimes. So,
but he wasn't talking reckless then.
He wasn't. He was not.
So it did not warrant. It did not warrant that type of response. The other night warranted that type of response. But like, give me a tea. Hey, nigga,
yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Like
Bronny would have had to come pull his dad off this nigga. Like, come on, dad.
Stay your ass over here because I'm finna do something bad to this motherfucker.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about that aspect. Like, that's his mama he talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Where that nigga at? Where he at? Like, if you motherfucker go over there and throw some hands, shit, if you get suspended, hey, it's all good. You ain't playing anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my story for the week. LeBron James for his selective outrage on who he gonna step to. So that wraps this episode up. We got it in a nice little tidy 1 hour and 37 minutes. Unfortunately, we didn't have one of our members on there. That Laker conversation probably would have been a little bit more unbiased, I guess. if he had been,
it would have been more biased.
But yeah. So this wraps up the latest episode of the Pod Deep on Sports podcast. Like, follow, subscribe, and hey, we signing out until the next one. Peace.
Right.
Pod Deep.